Everybody's so quiet. Good afternoon. I'm Michelle Branham, and I'm Vice President of Public Policy for the Alzheimer's Association. I represent the state of Florida, and I want to thank everyone for being here this sunny afternoon. Most especially, a big thank you for the outstanding leadership for Alzheimer's initiatives from Governor Ron DeSantis, all of our dedicated elected officials, and of course, Secretary Richard Prudhomme. I also want to extend a great thanks to all of our devoted volunteers and staff here today celebrating the Brain Bus. And wearing purple sashes, we put y'all in sashes, so I think they're all about. And for the first time ever, I'm so pleased to tell you and honored that we have the Alzheimer's Association's mobile outreach initiative, the Brain Bus, here at our state capitol. So, hard to miss. Please take a moment, if you can, after the press conference to visit the Brain Bus and check out all the services and education it's providing, especially to those underserved and underprivileged in rural communities across Florida. As the leading volunteer health organization for Alzheimer's and dementia and the world's largest private funder of research dollars, the Alzheimer's Association recognizes that Florida has the second highest prevalence of Alzheimer's disease. But I know we can be first in providing programs and services and a search for a cure here. We owe it to our state. And to help lead that charge, I'm pleased to introduce the state of Florida's most outstanding state legislator for Alzheimer's. For the 6 years I've known him, he has put himself and his family on the forefront for hope in this disease. I stood in his office with Susie when they both vowed to use her diagnosis as an opportunity to pave the way for hope for others. And after her passing last year, we awarded the Suzanne R. Plakon Award for Alzheimer's leadership to Susie. This year, we're pleased to have Representative Plakon continue Susie's legacy and his great work by passing this on to our governor. Each year, this award will be presented to the next leader in Florida who advances critical Alzheimer's initiatives in our state. And here to present this award today, please help me welcome my friend, Representative Plakon.
Should be on. Well, thank you everyone for being here today, and thank you, Michelle, for your kind words. This is a place I would have never imagined myself standing here today. Alzheimer's disease was something that I had heard of, but didn't know much about it. Didn't know anybody that had it. In May of 2014, everything changed. My wife and mother of six, Susie Plakon, was diagnosed at 53 years old. It was like a nuclear bomb hit our family. The protective instinct kind of kicked in right away. And I remember thinking to myself, I've started 3 businesses, each had a 9 out of 10 chance failing, and they all made it. I'm going to just go fix this. I'm going to take a half-court shot, and it's all going to be okay. Throughout 14 and 15, spent a lot of time researching, learning about the disease, looking into it, looked into clinical trials. I thought maybe one of those would work. And I found out that there is no cure. There's everyone that's ever had it has passed away from this disease. During this time, there's 2 conversations I had with Susie that I'll share. First, the question, do we keep this private or do we talk about it? As a public official, of course, I have a platform to talk about things like this. She told me, as Michelle said, if it would help others, she was all in. And for those that knew her, that would be no surprise. Second, not knowing what lied ahead on Alzheimer's, I made a promise that every single day, even when she couldn't communicate, we stare into each other's eyes. Because as you probably know, there comes a point where they can't speak, but I believe that they're still there and they can still understand that the people around that love them. Then, on July 23rd last year, with her in my arms and staring directly into her eyes, she took her last breath and stepped into the arms of Jesus. The only one she loved more than me and kids. When we first started, I thought it was the disease where you just kind of forget things and eventually you probably pass away. I'd never heard of agitation or sundown syndrome. I never imagined grand mal seizures and head injuries with brain injuries from the falls, with staples in the back of her head. Never heard of myoclonic seizures that would short ones where she would fall and get hurt more. I didn't know about hospital stays. She had electrodes in her days for days, and she kept trying to pull off. I never knew she could wander into our neighbor's house one day about a year and a half ago, and we didn't know where she was. She was actually walked in the house and was doing their dishes. It's okay to laugh at that. But she wandered off, you know. And I didn't know there was be a cascading series of doctor appointments and medicines to try to help this. And I never could have imagined that my wife of almost 30 years would not even know the names of me or my children. Romans 8:28 says, and we know that all things work together for good, for those that love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. As painful it has been for us to lose Susie and my kids, it helps to know that God is using her, a housewife, for all those years, to change the world for the better. I want to thank a few people, Secretary Prudhomme, for your leadership. We met within days of his appointment, and he looked at me and says, I want to make Alzheimer's awareness and policy a major priority of the department. And he's really done that. Also, Michelle from the Alzheimer's Association, right from the beginning, where we are, all the help you've been, in all the different policy, including the brain bus behind us. Senator Gibson, Leader Gibson is here somewhere, the initiative she's taken, and Senator Stargell in the Senate. And I want to say Representative Wilhite, a Democrat, and I'm a Republican. As we stood on the House floor a couple years ago for the first time together to pass legislation, he said, where red, the color of Republicans, and blue come together, it's purple, the color of Alzheimer's awareness. Last year, at Susie's celebration of life, as Michelle said, this award was created in the name of Susie. I'm honored to be here this afternoon to announce again the second recipient of this award. Governor Ron DeSantis, as one of his last actions in Congress last year, co-sponsored the Federal Gold Act, one of the most transformative bills addressing Alzheimer's in a generation. Then within months of being elected governor, he had a press conference with Secretary Prudhomme, and he said the following: Floridians living with Alzheimer's deserve our support, and as long as I'm governor, they can count on it. I'm proud to announce our administration has taken important steps to ensure our state assists these individuals in getting the care they deserve and prioritize the advancement of research needed for this disease. And then he announced a very aggressive 5-point action plan that is already in the process of being implemented. So it's my honor, on behalf of our entire family, to present Governor Ron DeSantis the Suzanne R Plakon Humanitarian Award for Leadership in Alzheimer's.
It's a great award. Very well done. Thanks, Scott. I really appreciate it. Thanks to the Alzheimer's Association for this really incredible award. It's an honor to receive it. We have taken action to identify ways that we can assist Floridians that are suffering from Alzheimer's, as well as their caretakers. Scott mentioned we put out a plan. A couple of things we're doing is directing the Department of Health to add Alzheimer's and related dementias as a priority in the state health improvement plan. Even though Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in Florida, it wasn't even addressed by our state health improvement plan. So that's changing. Also, we've directed the Department of Health to apply to be a center of excellence pursuant to the aforementioned Federal Gold Act in order to position Florida to pursue and receive federal grants for evidence-based approaches to treatment and prevention of Alzheimer's, dementia, and cognitive decline. The Brain Bus station here behind me is also doing great work for Floridians with Alzheimer's. It works to serve low-income, rural, isolated, or culturally diverse populations that may have less access to healthcare and Alzheimer's education. The hardworking staff on board provide early detection and awareness education to better inform Floridians with a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's of the importance of brain health, warning signs of the disease, and the benefits of an early diagnosis. The Brain Bus currently makes 125 stops annually in Florida, and has the potential to make up to 300 stops in a given year. With 560,000 Floridians currently living with Alzheimer's, Florida has the second highest prevalence of the disease among the 50 states. By 2025, that number is projected to increase to over 700,000. Additionally, 1.2 million Floridians currently serve as caregivers to persons living with Alzheimer's. So we want to do what we can to assist these individuals in getting the care they deserve and to prioritize the advancement of research needed to help deal with the disease. But with that, one of the guys who is leading the effort at Elder Affairs, I told him early on, I said, look, we've got to find things that we can really make a difference with in this agency. And to me, Alzheimer's was one of the obvious areas to pursue. And so, I've told him we want to see that, and he's really working hard to do it. So I want to bring up Secretary Prudhomme to say a few words.
Thank you, Governor. I'm honored to be here, and I'm grateful for your leadership on this important issue. At the Department of Elder Affairs, we hear firsthand from families affected by dementia, because as we all know, it is more than just the individual diagnosed who is impacted. Their families and loved ones are as well. The caregiver crisis is growing more acute by the hour. They call to say their mother was just diagnosed. They don't know what to do. They seek counsel from us on how to ensure their loved one is safe after they've wandered off and got lost, activating a silver alert. They receive respite care through our services, including the Alzheimer's Disease Initiative, which gives them a much-needed break and helps prevent that burnout and the decline of their own health. The Governor has shown his commitment to these families by supporting the programs and providers that care for them, recommending funding increases and encouraging communities to join our Dementia Care and Cure initiative. He has even challenged the hospitals and academic institutions who house our 16 memory disorder clinics to provide matching funding to the clinics, specifically to increase the number of individuals they serve with evaluation and diagnostic testing for dementia. Our work continues with strong partners like the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Representative Plakon, and also the Alzheimer's Association. Obviously, our ultimate goal is to eradicate Alzheimer's disease, but until that is realized, we want to do our best to make all Floridian communities a place where those affected by dementia don't just live, but live well. Congratulations on your well-deserved advocacy award, Governor. Yours is more than a message. It's a steadfast commitment to improving the lives of the millions of Floridians affected by Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. And for that, sir, we thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.